and welcome back to Disruptive Live. We are at the Cloud Expo Asia 2018 in lovely, sunny, sweaty Singapore at the Marina Bay Sands. I'm now delighted to be joined by, I believe, my final guest of the morning, Blake Hawkins, the founder and CEO of Janeous. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, founder and CTO of Janeous. What is Janeous and why did you found it?
So Janeous is basically a talent identification platform. It's designed to help the talent identification process. That's everything up to the introductory interview. So including the introductory interview, all in one platform, right? And I designed it from years of doing, going from jobs to jobs, and that transition process was always horrible. I had one good experience transitioning where I got to do a couple of different interviews back to back, and that allowed me to kind of improve my interviewing process, and also the interviewer to talk to multiple candidates to kind of really know what they're looking for. And that stuck with me, and that was about 7-8 years ago, and it's always been there in my back of my mind to start it, and I just took the jump.
No, I'm going to start. I'm going to start at the beginning by
Please.
saying, obviously we're in the UK normally. I've never heard of, what you're talking about is recruitment candidates, very, very formal in the UK. We don't call them talent. That's a great word. I do like the term talent. Yeah. So we're talking about talent as in people that are looking for jobs, yes. But you're on the other side. You're looking at it from the point of view of the employer who's looking for...
No, I'm actually looking at both sides. So
okay.
One of the big problems with the industry is that everyone's doing exactly that. That's their mentality, that the company is where you start and the candidates are just produce, right? There's no difference between a candidate and an orange. Like just describe it, the little criteria, and that's what we want. And I think that's the wrong way to look at it. I think you need to value candidates and you need to look at both sides of the equation because you're going to get better candidates when you actually care about them, value what they're bringing to the table, and they'll ultimately be better employees in the long term. So we are looking at the companies because they do have the money, so you have to talk to them, but the candidates, we're looking at them and trying to make sure that they're taken care of and that their, for example, their privacy is kept, their information isn't shared unless they want it to be shared, things like that. And we're really trying to value the candidates and look at it from both sides, because that's how it really is. It's the candidate is only going to be at the company for a short period of time, hopefully 2-3 years ideally, and they're going to move on. So we want to make sure that we have a good relationship with them. And they might come back to the company. I used to work at EY and people come in and out, and that happens all the time now.
Interesting. Okay, I'm a little bit, I used to be much younger, as everyone did.
We all did.
Yes, as everyone did. And back in the day, before Tinder, the Tinders and Grinders and all the other things in the world,
yes.
There was a thing called video dating. You used to go to the video bureau and you'd say, hello, I'm looking for whatever you're looking for. And that's a very old-fashioned thing now. But I've just read something here that you find recorded video interviews creepy.
I do.
So recorded video interviews, they're a thing.
They are a thing. They're actually the way the industry is currently going, and I think it's the wrong direction.
Okay, how does that work?
So there's multiple companies out there. Basically, our closest competitors do this recorded video, where they go, the company gives them, let's say, a link to the candidate, they send them an email, the candidate clicks on that link, and they go to the platform, and then they answer a couple of standard questions, right? The company could ask them, let's say, 10 questions, could be, describe how you do this, or describe your process for this.
This isn't interactive. This is like an audition tape.
It's almost like if I wasn't here and you were talking to the camera, right? Exactly, it is. And so you do these, it is creepy. And so you do these interview questions, you answer them, you're not talking to anyone, there's no dynamicness, there's no give and take, it's literally just you talking to your phone or talking to the PC. And it doesn't allow for, again, the flexibility. And that information, you don't know where it goes, right? Like you're trusting that company is not gonna lose that information and have it end up on YouTube as, interview fails. Also, that interview will go around the company, so they'll share it with 10 different people, right? Or whatever it is. And that's what they're trying to say is what's convenient about it, but the reality is, if you do bad, you're now 10 different people that maybe had job openings that if you talked with, you might have gotten a job, now you're out. Right? And who knows how long they're going to have that video for and be able to kind of, I remember you. I saw you. You didn't know what you were talking about. Right? So I don't want that. I want this type of interaction because I think it's very important. I've got many years and hundreds of interviews I've done both as a recruiter and on the other side of hiring, and this dynamic is very important. You might start with a default question or have a couple of them set up, but the reality is based on how I'd answer that question, you either go to the question or you revise that. Right? You could be saying, hey, what about this? And I give you an answer and then it's a back and forth, and we can go down a path that you never foresaw coming. And that might lead to this job, it might lead to a different job that you're not currently advertising, or it might lead to a great relationship that later on when you have an opening that fits, we come back. You can't get that with recorded video.
Okay, let's simplify this then. I'm looking for a job. The man over there is looking to hire someone.
Yes.
How's this going to work? How would this work? Like, talk me through from the basics.
So it takes the same principles of this trade show. The reason that these trade shows work and conferences work is because you're bringing companies together and you're bringing candidates together. So we're doing that, but online, trying to make it so you can do it from your phone setting in London and interview for a job in Singapore, for example. So we're going to structure it like a career conference structure, where let's say, for example, next Thursday from 5 to 8, we'd have an IT Singapore conference. So you as a company would come on, you'd register for the conference, and then you would post jobs to that conference. Candidates would then be notified, they would come on the platform, and they would apply to interview. Because I don't want the whole apply for the job, I want to apply to interview, because that's what we want to get to, right?
A human relationship.
Exactly. So you're applying to interview, and then what we do is we take all the hassle out of it for the companies. We do the matching, the screening, do all that, and the scheduling. So you could set your own schedule. Let's say you only had an hour availability, the interviewer only had an hour availability, hopefully it's the same within the same time period, but we do all that scheduling, set it up so the company would log in about a day before and say, okay, I have these 5, 6, 7 interviews scheduled, I like that one, no, this one doesn't seem to be a good fit, etc. They can kind of move those off. We rerun our matching and our scheduling and try to find people who have applied for the job and now fit in. Because there's a lot of flexibility with that. And then they'd log in on the conference, you'd both log in, you'd start the interview. Let's say it's a 20-minute interview. At the end of that, you'd then be able to rate them, your own internal process, and they'd be able to rate you for their follow-up, right? Very simple rating procedure. What that allows us to do is that allows us to give feedback in aggregate to the companies. Because right now, there's no system out there that allows companies to know if their interviewers are good or not. Yep. They could be losing candidates because of bad interviewers, and there's no way for them to know that today. There's no way a recruiter's going to tell them that because they're working for the companies a lot of the times, right? They want to place candidates, but the companies are who's paying them, so they're kind of on this really hard situation. Because we're a platform, we're going to be much more, kind of agnostic to the fact that, hey, this might be a bad interview, but it's only based on the numbers. It could be something that training can resolve. It could be whatever. We don't want to say someone's not a good interviewer. We just might say that, hey, maybe they don't have the skills yet, or they haven't practiced enough. And we can hopefully provide this information kind of in aggregate to them and add a little value in that way too on the back end. So hopefully after that interview, it goes well, they like you like them, then they can reach out through the internal chat functionality, or they could send you an email, and then they could follow the normal process they already have in place. We don't care if they're using an ATS system, an applicant tracking system, or if they're using a big HRS or like a company like Workday or something like that has everything. We can still export that information and then they can import it into their current system and follow whatever that process is. But we're trying to take that initial piece and really summarize it into one point. There was a study I just saw where basically 53% of candidates will refuse a job offer after 8 weeks. Like if they go 8 weeks of the process, so from you contact them and you start the process, 8 weeks later, over half will not accept the offer for various different reasons. But we're trying to make that initial contact more valuable, right? To make it so it's not just a resume, it's a talk, it's a discussion, it's do I want to take this person to the next level? And that's kind of what we're trying to do.
That's fascinating. Well, final question then. Way over time.
Sorry.
No, but that's a good thing. I like you've got this entrepreneurial energy when you speak. It's fantastic.
I love it.
Never lose it. Never lose it. But there's a bloke over there, Doc Brown. He's invented this time machine. It's fantastic. I can get in this time machine and I can go 5 years in the future.
Yes.
Where's Janeous looking to be in a few years?
I want Janeous to be the #1 global talent identification tool used by every company. Not their only tool, because the reality is you're not going to be the one solution for every single thing, but I want to be a solution that everyone uses. And ideally, there's going to be global conferences. So one of my milestones is to basically have 24 hours straight of conferences. Have a Tokyo conference, and then a Hong Kong, Singapore, Dubai, Berlin, London, New York, Chicago, LA, Hawaii, right? 24 hours straight, and have global conferences. That's where I want to be, because there's no reason that we can't be in every major city and beyond, right? Because you don't have to be there, right? You can log in from Moscow and do an interview in Singapore. No system allows this right now, right? The way that we're doing it, it doesn't currently exist. There's 95% similars, but we're doing it differently and adding a little flavor to it. So I want it to be global, I want it to be well known, and I want it to mostly add value to companies. because we shouldn't exist if we can't add value to them and candidates. So that's it.
Well, it's your energy is phenomenal. I do believe you're going to do this. But please, next time we meet, let us know how you're getting on. But
I appreciate
it.
it.
Great. Blake, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time, Andrew.
That was Blake Hawkins, the founder and CEO of Janeous. That's it.